And a warm welcome to our discussion segment on Sports Rail today. And our program today will be focusing on sports and education. Of course, I have with me somebody who knows sports and education very, very well. As an administrator, somebody that runs a football academy right here in Lagos, Beverley. Of course, she's on our program today. She'll be the guest on Sports Rail today. Of course, she's going to tell us the particular model that suits Nigerian sports people in schools, how we can run sports and education and make it more very, very successful. Beverley, great to have you on Sports Rail today as our guest.
I'm so happy to be here today.
Okay, fantastic. We see most schools in Nigeria try to do sports and education, and you've been in the field and you run your own football academy, try to make sure that students, go to school, get proper education. Also, sports playing a major role in their curriculum also. So, first of all, give us the model that really suits Nigeria, how it can really work.
I'm so glad we're having this conversation because it's long overdue. First of all, the whole idea of integrating sports into education begins from nursery and it goes all the way up to university level. And there's something called pathways in education, pathways in sports education. And those pathways begin as young as nursery school. And like you said, we hear about PE. And it stops at PE.
Exactly.
You know, there's not much innovation. There's a bit of a lack of creativity. So what we really want to see from, say, 10, 11, I think primary school age, it's about exposing these children to as much sports as possible. So it's important that they get at least an hour outdoors, playing, installation of monkey bars, swings. All those little things are still considered physical activity. And then from about 10, 11, you really want to make sure that they have some kind of exposure to some sports like, say, swimming, football, tennis tends to be rare. You don't get that many schools doing tennis, but things like even hockey. In the States, they have a fantastic integrated sports and education model where you have to maintain a certain GPA, they call it, to be on the team.
Talking about the models, you think it should cut across the schools, or every school should have their own specific model of having sports education? But you think it's supposed to be all encompassing to all the schools in Nigeria?
I think there should be a universal model. There should be a universal model so we don't have too much divergence. Like some schools will end up doing a lot more than others, and some will end up doing far less because you're giving too much choice. I think there should be a basic universal model, which there is, PE. And then beyond PE, what about, there's some subjects now whereby it teaches, students about the theoretical side, about the body, there is. From secondary school, you get into those sort of subjects. I think it's called PHSCE. Part of the educational system. It's not an extra. It's not co-curricular.
Yeah, exactly. They always call it extracurricular activities.
No, it is a fundamental part. I wish I had some stats to share with you, but we know that kids who get more time outdoors, they get to play.
Now, from that age, do you expose them? Most coaches say expose them to every sport, let them choose where they can actually thrive. But some other models, some other countries will say, look at this child can run, this child has build, this child is flexible. So do you give them a chance from that age, or you say let's be specific, or let's throw all the sports open for them? So balance that.
Fantastic question, because I used to be of the school of thought that the earlier you specialize, the better. But actually, not really. Doing sports, there's a lot of research that's continuously happening that is debunking a lot of myths. So the myth of start them young, catch them young, which is great by all means, but
that's the terminology in Nigerian sports.
That's the terminology, catch them young. But catching them young does not necessarily equate all the time to
development.
It also hinges on the type of whether they enjoy it or not, whether they are passionate, the type of personalities they have. I'll give you an example. I was reading something about this start early and specialize versus do a whole breadth of different things and specialize much later. And I read about Roger Federer. And apparently, you know, being a Swiss national, I think they have the benefit of a wide array of sports.
Yeah.
He didn't get started, pray my stats are right, till 16. He clearly debunked that myth that you don't have to start early and you can still perform pretty well. So I say, be balanced, don't be too rigid, you know, observe your child. If the child is, you know, resisting, or if they don't seem interested, be patient. Just because they don't seem interested at 3 doesn't mean that they'll hate it forever. Kids, the psychology of kids keeps changing. The way you teach and train sports has to vary depending on the age. So I think for me, it's really about being flexible, being open-minded, don't be too narrow. Don't force a child to narrow too much because they could miss out on other things.
Yeah. Now, students doing sports, they're still in school. What are the platforms? What are the opportunities? What can they achieve through sports? You know, you talked about Nuga games. Of course, they can play the Nuga games. But what other platforms? You talked about the scholarship also.
We as Africans, we need to come together and start putting together games. We don't have enough homegrown games. We don't. So most of the time, we're waiting for, at a global level, Kobe's games. Or we're waiting for World School Games.
Yes, exactly.
World School Games is fairly new. It's about 10 years or less, right? Some people came together and decided to do it.
Awesome.
Right? So what about us here?
I'm going to ask you this finally. You're trying to put up on the 13th football competition for...
for girls.
Yeah, for girls. Yeah, just to tell us about that in terms of the reach out for, you know, what are you going to achieve in the long run, and what are the platforms and opportunities, you know, like you talked about models.
About creating more opportunities. Girls are already, I would say, disproportionately, you know, discriminated against when it comes to football, right? Think about, like I said, all the scholarships that they're missing out on, all the football scholarships that they don't even get to participate in. So we really want to give girls a platform so they get an equal chance to develop. And this is the year of the Women's World Cup.
Oh, great, that's true.
In Australia.
That's awesome.
Nobody's talking about it. The Women's World Cup is this year.
Yes, that's true.
So these girls have role models. Nigeria is going. I mean, the Super Falcons are going to be there. The men didn't get in. But the women got in.
That's true.
So
congratulations.
We should be proud. And what more do we want? We want to create a funnel. You see, sports is about creating a pathway. The pathway will not miraculously appear when they are 21. It starts from when they're little. So these girls, age 11 to 13, they're going to play amongst themselves, different schools in Lagos. We hope it will encourage many girls into football. We hope in 5 years we can boast that this number of girls got scholarships to go to football academies, to go to colleges, wherever. I would love to see Nigerian universities do football scholarships.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Beverley. That's been absolutely fantastic. Very, very informative in terms of what sports can achieve for students. We'll take a short break now.